Welcome to No Nonsense Guy SA.
Well, folks, guess who's back from the dead? No, not the ANC's economic saving plan. Me! Well, man alive. After a week in hospital, incarceration thanks to Addison's disease, I'm back on the mic. Yes, my adrenal glands decided to go on strike, much like our government does when it comes to actually running the country. But unlike them, I actually recovered. While I was in a drip, our nation's political soap opera kept broadcasting, and shockingly, still no happy ending. So let's dive into the top 4 news stories that I thought kind of slipped under the radar this week. ANC ideology, of course, included, because after all, what's a good story without pointing out the rot at the root of it? So the Pretoria High Court has had to rule, yes, it had to go to the High Court, okay, that former Zambian president Edgar Lungi's body must be sent home for burial. Yes, it had to go to a High Court, despite his family's desperate plea to keep him here in South Africa. Weird. The whole story's weird. Now you might be wondering, why does South Africa even get involved in such matters? Well, because our ANC-led foreign policy has a long-standing tradition of inserting itself into other countries' affairs, like sticking your nose in. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it involves liberation struggle alumni and so-called brotherly nations. The same government that can't keep the lights on in its own country, run the trains in its own country, and keep the taps flowing in its own country, suddenly becomes a champion of international funeral arrangements. This case has all the hallmarks of an ANC diplomacy, grand gestures on an international stage, while ignoring our own national dumpster fire. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we funded half the airfare for the coffin, because when you're broke, the most responsible thing to do is spend other people's tax money on your own PR stunts. Typical, right? Then let's touch on a little bit of the tariffs that have taken the ANC totally, Mensa, by surprise. Yes. It's like everyone woke up on the 1st of August. Ronald Lamola Ramaphosa is a poser, or Ramading, as Colonel White calls him on odd occasion. So South African wineries are facing a 30% tariff on exports to the US. That's before any BRICS stuff gets talked about. Now that's huge, especially for an industry already on its knees thanks to COVID lockdown bans, the ANC's suffocating regulations, and a lack of infrastructure that makes exporting anything other than a logistical nightmare. But here's the kicker. The ANC's foreign policy plays a big role in this. We've been cozying up to regimes that the West sees kind of as hostile. I mean, we're talking Russia, China, Iran. None of the ANC went broke. Then acting shocked when Western markets pushed back. It's like a prop, a prop getting sanctioned for something. Me? No ways, Ref. I never did it. You can't tell Washington to shove it one week and expect them to sip your Chenin Blanc the next week. And as always, the ANC's solution: more committees, more support desks, more promises of funding, none of which will actually materialize. If you're in the wine industry right now, you might as well start bottling your product for domestic consumption. I don't drink anymore. Because thanks to the ANC's ideological posturing, your access to the world's most lucrative markets is drying up faster than the Vaal Dam in midsummer. So, what does the Reserve Bank say? Well, The South African Reserve Bank says that the US tariffs will only have a modest impact on our economy because apparently 7% of our exports is, it's no biggie. These guys live in a dream world, Mensa. They live in a dream world. Masakina, stand up. Now, here's the reality, okay? The Reserve Bank, they're technically right for now. But the bigger picture is that South Africa's export market is shrinking precisely because the ANC's policies are hostile to investment. I mean, I want to come invest in your country. Great, give me half the company. I mean, Zach. It's hostile to private business and overly dependent on state-owned enterprises that are also just collapsing faster than an ANC manifesto promise. ANC manifesto, all the things they promise. The real problem isn't just one, though. It's that these tariffs are another symptom of our growing isolation from the global economy. Cyril thinks he's Donald. He's not a pimple on Donald's bum. Neither is South Africa. We need to learn, government, how to play nice. Our government's too busy virtue signaling about sovereignty, while quietly, relying on foreign loans just to stay afloat. And when those loans dry up, because let's face it, no one likes lending to a failing state, then we'll see just how modest this impact really is, right? And then finally, South Africa has joined, why, I don't know, but I'll unpack it for you, an international marketing push to promote natural diamonds. It's actually funded by a 1% levy on diamond sales. Great, right? Well, our diamond industry, once the crown jewel of our economy, has been decimated by poor policy, crime, and the very same BEE corruption channels that have gutted every other sector. Illegal mining syndicates, often operating with the quiet blessing of ANC-connected officials, are running wild, while legitimate businesses drown in red tape. Red tape. Do you know how stupid red tape is? We can write an app and we'll get it sorted out. All the red tape, done. So now, instead of fixing the actual problems, I'm just a layman, security, the regulation, i.e. red tape, and market stability means the ANC wants to put a shiny ad campaign, I kid you not, it's a shiny ad campaign over this rotten core. It's actually like kind of painting the Titanic while it's sinking. And the band's playing, Sure, the ads might convince someone in New York to buy maybe a rock. But unless the systematic rot is dealt with, the only people benefiting from this will be the ANC's connected cronies who get all the marketing contracts. Well, that's the week, folks. Same circus, different clowns. The ANC continues to turn every challenge into an opportunity for self-enrichment, and South Africans are left holding the bill. Meanwhile, I'm holding my microphone, my sarcasm, and, well, thanks to modern medicine and my own personal Dr. House, which is Dr. Shaista Khan. Hello, Doc. My cortisol levels are cool. I'll be back next week, unless the ANC nationalizes podcast. In which case, I see you on a pirate radio signal somewhere off the Cape Coast. Stay sharp, stay very skeptical, and always don't buy the nonsense. And as always, the good Lord gave you an awesome little thing inside your head called a brain. Let's not be afraid to use it. Use it. God bless you all. Take care. Until next time.